Today I'm going to show you how to use Captain Chords, Captain Deep, Captain Melody and Captain Play. I'm Will from EDM Tips, where every week I help you up your EDM production game. This week we are going to look at the Captain plugins suite by Mixed In Key. You've probably seen the adverts all over the internet. So what is the Captain plugins suite? Basically, it's an array of 4 plugins that help you write chord progressions, melodies and bass lines, and they all talk to each other. The idea being that you can create music quickly and efficiently. So I'm going to be giving a Captain plugins review and a Captain plugins tutorial, and this is a completely impartial review. Captain plugins and Mixed In Key haven't paid me anything. I don't get any affiliate sales money or anything like that, but they did reach out to me and ask me to review it, and I thought it would be useful to you guys, as I know a lot of you have seen it on the internet. If you like the video, hit subscribe and the notification button, and without further ado, let's hop into the door and get it done. Okay, so let's get started. I've made a little drum loop that we're going to work along to. Easy. And I've created a Captain plugins group. Just put a sidechain compressor on there to kind of glue all the sounds together, but of course you don't need to do that. And I've created a different channel for each of the Captain plugins. So chords, deep, melody and play, and they all speak to each other like some kind of mystical digital beings. And Captain Chords is for doing chord progressions, Captain Deep is for doing bass lines. They should have called it Captain Bass, don't know why they didn't. Captain Melody is for doing melodies, and Captain Play is kind of like a jamming plugin where you can come up with different chord progressions and melodies easily and just play around. So I'll show you what each of them do and how they talk to each other. So first, Captain Chords, we'll just load it in, and then you choose your key and scale that you want to work in. So I want to do some kind of new disco synthwave type track, so I'm going to choose a major scale, major pentatonic. Just go major, go, and now all of these other plugins will be in the same key and the same scale as well, and you can quickly just change them if you want. And also it's worth noting that all of the plugins have built-in sounds, but you can assign them to VSTs, so you could play the chords from Serum or Silent, for instance, if you want, but we're just going to use the sounds from within the plugins to do it quicker. So you can see here that we start off with a chord, just B flat major, and it just loops that. So you can either choose a chord progression to start with from up here, easy, and then when you've done that, or you can start from scratch, you can choose different chords here, some interesting ones. Oh, and it's changing. And it changes the whole progression. That's quite cool. So yeah, it's easy to kind of experiment with different chord sounds. I'm going to change the chord length just by using this resize thing. I don't know why they're all dragging across now. That's annoying. But it is what it is. That should have anchored there really. So now we've kind of spiced things up a little bit. Cool. And this verse, pre-chorus and chorus and drop, they're basically like different clips within Ableton, so, or different scenes rather. So you can have a different chord progression for each of these scenes, and you can quickly kind of experiment as to what sounds good in what order. So we're going to stick to verse at the moment, and like when you're happy with it, you can kind of drag it over onto your DAW if you want. But the thing is, you can't at the moment edit the MIDI by dragging up and down notes inside the plugins at the moment. Now this is a problem for me, but as you'll see from the tooltip that pops up, it says that's something they're going to fix in the future. Oh, it stopped doing it now, but I did it earlier and it said this is coming in the future. So let's make these chords a bit more interesting. You can play with the inversion of the chords here. Like second inversion, you'll see it changes the order of the notes within that chord. And you can change the flavour, so you can choose 7th chord. Which is really cool because I love 7th chords, 9th chords, 13th chords, and you can just toggle them on and off. Obviously, if you pick too many, it sounds rubbish. And you can increase the complexity of the chords as well. So it'll add in extra notes. So let's add some complexity there. That's quite nice and rich. And if you don't know music theory at all, and even if you do, as I do, a lot of it is a bit of experimentation. Like that for me is quite future disco-y or new disco-y. So let's choose a bit more of a bit of a better sound though. So you can see there are loads of sounds to choose from. So let's pick Poly 6th. Yeah, you can get more new disco if you wrote new disco on a piece of paper and gave it to a cyborg who was mating with Nile Rodgers, actually. But we do definitely need a like that's impressive. I like that. That's cool. And then the pre-chorus, well, we'll just do a verse and a chorus because it just keeps things simple. But you'll see it's in the same key and the same scale, which is quite nice. I don't know how to do this, but it would be nice if you could just copy and paste everything you've done into this new section. You might be able to, and it might just be me being ignorant, but that's worth looking into. But I'm going to choose a different progression for the chorus, and I'm just going to experiment. Yeah, so I wanted that to be a sus chord, so I just changed it manually at the end there. And this is a cool feature. You can actually record in your own rhythm of the chords as well. You can choose the chords, so they've got some, they've got some patterns here. But if you've got a pattern in your head that you already want to do, I'll show you something very cool in a sec. See, that's too random for me. So now I am going to go to record again. And it quantizes it as well, which is quite nice. See, I want to just be able to shift that. That's, because I recorded it slightly in the wrong place. But basically, I was just tapping on one note on my keyboard, and then it makes that into the chords automatically. So we've got our verse anyway. And our chorus. Okay, that is Captain Chords. So we will go on to Deep and write the bass line, and Captain Chords is the most complex of all the plugins. So that's the main thing done now. So let's go into Captain Deep, drag and drop that, connect, and that connects it to Captain Chords. I'm just going to keep them both open because if you close the window, then it stops playing the sound, which is when you then bring the MIDI into your DAW, if that's what you're going to do. So let's have a listen. And so you can hear it's already put in a rhythm and some bass notes, and they just work straight away with the chords. Let's go back to the verse because I prefer that. Nice, the bass sounds fine. Obviously you can choose from different presets, but I like this one. Okay, so now we can change the rhythm of the bass line. So let's have a listen to some of these. And the space here is basically like reducing the sustain of the sound so you can hear a bigger gap between them. In fact, let's just solo the deep. That's cool. And you know, there's a filter, delay, reverb. Just simple effects. You know, you wouldn't keep those as your final tune selection, but as a quick way to get down some ideas, that's quite nice. And you've got shape, follow the chord, so we've got our rhythm done. So you can have the bass notes hitting different notes from within these chords just for spice things up a bit. And you can choose the octave as well, but I like this octave. And if we go to chorus, okay, I'm going to go to the, yeah. Okay, so that is Captain, but that's, see, I called it Captain Bass. That's Captain Deep. Right, so now we will go to Captain Melody. So we just drag and drop again. As I said, Captain Chords was the kind of underpinning one behind the others. So I haven't actually tried writing a melody or a bass line and then creating chords from that, but I'm pretty sure that you'd be able to do that. So here we go with Captain Melody, and you'll see again already it's already programmed it in the same key and the same scale, so you know it sounds all right straight off the bat. And then we can have a play. I'm not so sure about the sound. Yeah, that's definitely new disco. The drums probably aren't, but you know, whatever. So change the pattern and the rhythm. That's cool. See, I want to be able to quickly edit this, but again, look, MIDI editing is coming soon, but for now, I would drag that into my melody track in my DAW, like so. And then I can kind of edit that as I see fit. And I do this basically. So this is what I would do personally. But unless there's something I'm missing, you can't get in and do those kind of small edits within the plugin at the moment. But it looks like they are bringing that in. And then when you click chorus here, you can see that all of these will change. And if we were to change key or scale, ooh, what is that? See, that is the cool thing about this suite of programs, that you can stumble across things that you just would not think to write. And from there you might glean like one chord maybe, or two chords that work well together, and then you can bring that in. So that is a bonus. Okay, anyway, I'm going to undo because that's cray cray. So when I close the plugin, the sound stops. So I'll keep them open for the time being. And the last of the plugins is Captain Play. So just drag that in. And they are bringing out 2 more new plugins this year, apparently. And if you have the suite, or if you buy the suite, then you'll get the free upgrade. I don't know what those plugins are yet. Okay, so as I said, this is kind of a jamming program. You can choose your MIDI keyboard or you can use your computer keyboard. I'm going to use the computer keyboard, and you'll see it assigns different chords within the key you're working to different notes on your keyboard. But I don't need chords because I've already used Captain Chords, so I can change it to play single mode. And it just gives you notes from within that scale as well. So let's turn off, which is great for melody writing, for instance, or counter melodies, but we'll turn off our melody at the moment. And we will just use so you've got different octaves on these different lines, and all of the notes that I'm hitting now are within that scale, which makes them diatonic. But it is a little restrictive because then you can't have accidentals. Basically, any note you hit within that will sound good, but it does restrict you in some ways. For instance, if I was just going to use the MIDI in, I might choose to hit some notes that aren't within that scale. Example. Obviously, if you're as rubbish at playing the keyboard as I am, you know, I just hit some dodgy notes then. But there were some notes that sounded good that aren't within the key of B flat major. So that is a restriction of using Captain Play. But all in all, you know, as a way to come up with some fresh ideas, I have to say it's impressive. So let's listen. Probably this little... I like this a lot, the fact you can change song section really quickly just by clicking. Yeah, that's nice. So, to summarize, I've written my summary, so I'm going to read from it. Personal opinion, should have named Captain Deep, Captain Bass, but whatever. These are great tools if you wanted to get started writing melodic, chord progression driven music, you know, not like industrial techno, for instance. So stuff like progressive house and trance and future bass, and you've got no music theory knowledge, this is a good way to get started over and above just, you know, sample packs and MIDI packs and things like this. This is a bit more hands-on, a bit more creative. 2, it's good even if you do know some music theory for jamming out quick ideas and discovering chords that you had no idea could even work together. So that's cool as well. And then you drag them into your DAW and then develop them further. Personally, that is how I would see myself using it. And C, it's a good way to experiment with different inversions of chords or different, well, they call it flavours, but I call it the quality of a chord. So you might have a standard chord and then add some like 13ths or 11ths to it and a different inversion of it. So that's a cool and quick way to quickly experiment with that. So they're the pros. The cons, I would say that it doesn't substitute for a good working knowledge of music theory. You're still kind of selling yourself a bit short if you don't have an underlying knowledge of some music theory at least. B, it relinquishes some of the control you get within your DAW, but again they say that they are going to be adding MIDI editing within the plugin, which will go a long way to alleviating that problem. So now it's on to the essential info that would be good to know. So they've got, as I mentioned, they've got 2 more plugins coming out this year, which will be added to the suite. Again, I'm not sure what they do yet, but just so you know, the current price is $79, which, to be fair, is an absolute bargain. For what you get, that is a good price. EDM Tip students get 30% off that price. So if you've taken one of my courses, you can get it for 30% off. So that's $24 off. It's available for both Mac and Windows. I think there are currently a few more features for Windows than there are Mac, but these will be rolled out in Mac soon. I think that's the case. And the other thing to bear in mind is it's 64-bit only, because when I first downloaded it, I was loading it into my 32-bit Ableton 9 and it wasn't working and it was doing my head in. I couldn't figure it out. But then I was told by the guys at Mixed In Key it is 64-bit only. So that's most people are using 64-bit DAWs anyway nowadays, like Ableton 10, Logic X, FL Studio. In terms of essential info, that is it. So you've got the pros, you've got the cons, you've got how to use it, make your own decision. If you do want to buy it, you can use the link below. If you want to get money off it, then you can join one of my courses, and that is one of the many benefits you get from taking my courses. Let me know what you think of plugins like this, guys. Do they kill creativity? Do they enhance workflow and creativity? Let me know in the comments below. I want to know what you think, and I will reply to every comment. If you like this video, please subscribe and share, and until next time, cheers and happy producing.